How many, just out of interest, how many native English speakers are here? Okay, very few, then I'll slow down. It always dictates the speed of how quickly I'll talk. Good afternoon, my name is John. I'm co-founder and CEO of Buzzoek. The Dutch people recognize it as a play on the English word buzz and the Dutch word bezoek, or zoek. So looking for the buzz or putting a buzz in every visit. Because we look at loyalty in a totally different way. We look at customer interaction in a different way. And the reason for this is pretty simple. It's when we shop online, every click of the mouse, every movement and everything we do is tracked. And our experience is really tailored towards us. And it's a very personal experience, even if we're visiting a site for the second time, or sometimes even for the first time if cookies have been tracking our behavior. But when we go into a real world store, into a physical store, we can go in there several times a week. We can be recognized every time, but our experience is pretty generic. We're treated like everyone else, we're treated the same. So it creates a bit of a disconnect between shopkeepers and customers. Customers leave feeling a bit dissatisfied. The problem in retail today is that merchants are seeing their sales decline. So last year in this country alone, physical sales declined by 63%, which is huge, with people moving towards online and moving away from real stores. And merchants are trying to combat this with things like these, loyalty cards, with paper cards, stempel cards, cards they hand out to people. They've been doing this for years. One of the problems with customers is that they're overloaded with all these cards. But another problem is that for cards for places they visit more infrequently, like a hairdresser, a dry cleaner, or a car wash, they put in something that I call the man drawer. So this is a drawer that most guys should recognize. Sits at home, it's where you basically dump all that crap you don't want to carry around. Women, it's called a handbag. But for men, we dump it at home into a drawer. And the problem with this is that these cards disappear. So they fall into this drawer and you can never find them when you actually need them. On the other side of things, there's the service providers who are providing services to existing merchants. So you've got all the incumbents, Visa, MasterCard, CCV, Vodafone, KPN, all these guys who are there. But more and more what they provide are becoming commodities. How many Wi-Fi providers are there? How many different payment providers are there? How many point of sale providers are there? It doesn't matter. It's a race to the bottom on price. There are so many of them, it's just going to be whoever provides it the cheapest will win. And these incumbents are up against the new boys, the likes of PayPal, Adyen, Square, Sweeper, all these guys with cloud-based point of sales, cloud-based solutions. They're really up against it, so they need to start to differentiate and evolve as well. Thing is, people love loyalty cards. Shopkeepers love giving loyalty cards, and they'll always be there in some form. There needs to be some form of loyalty. So one of the things we're trying to do is get rid of these paper cards. And some of the solutions out there are things like QR codes, barcodes. Take out your phone, put in your PIN, open an app, wait for some data, load up a QR code, eventually scan it. That's about 15 steps more than get a stamp on a paper card. It doesn't work. So these are the current solutions that are there. I'm not saying that the direction is wrong, but I am saying that these solutions don't work right now. Things need to be simple. In the future, you won't have loyalty and payments. You'll have loyalty and payments. They're coming together. They're going to be one, and it should be one touch. So the key thing we should be asking ourselves, is how do we deliver to shopkeeper advanced analytics and insights, but keeping it simple? How do we give people offers that they want versus offers that shops want to push? And how do we have payment versus loyalty versus point of sale versus marketing versus all these different things? How do they come together and converge? First of all, it needs to be low cost. Nobody wants to pay big bucks for this anymore. It needs to be collaboratively formed, so any offer needs to be done with consultative selling, not just here's a solution, good luck, like Groupon did. It needs to allow businesses to be flexible, to work together. So if you go into a hairdresser and there's a big line, maybe they let you go to the local cafe to get a discounted coffee while you wait. And finally, it needs to bridge online and offline. These two worlds have to come together. Right now, merchants are afraid of online. Only 23% of them actually use Facebook for their businesses. They need to start to embrace online, bring everything together, and give a seamless cross-channel experience for customers. It's about taking what's complex and making it very, very simple. You have a dashboard, it should be easy for merchants to understand. Even this, to me, has too much information. We're trying to simplify things and give merchants what they need. So not lots of numbers, not lots of percentages, but rather clear bullet points of what to do. And they can run campaigns, should be able to run everything centrally. Then what we see is the demand drawer problem. How do we solve that? Use something people already have. I don't know how many of you are here 2 talks ago for NS's talk about the OVA chip card and how it can be used in different ways. But of course it's possible. And we actually use that. There's 13.6 million OVA chip cards. Pretty much everyone here has one. Go to London, there are 29 million Oyster cards. Over twice as many. Everyone carries a card, so let's use existing cards as an interim until phones actually take over properly. And that's just one of millions of cards we can actually use, cards and devices. We've even added a barcode scanner, so now we can use the Albert Heijn bonus card for loyalty instead of Albert Heijn. With apps, one of the big things everyone tries to push is download our app. Here's an app, have an app, have an app. There are hundreds, thousands, millions of apps. We give you an app if you want it. It's not mandatory. You shouldn't be forced to sign up for loyalty. You should choose to skip it. If I don't want to sign in, I skip it, but I can still see my points. If I want to, I give the bare minimum of information. I can still see where I've been and what I've done. It should be seamless and easy for the consumer, and we should choose what we share, not the shopkeeper and not the big companies. You can do a lot more with an app, of course. You can use beacons and geofencing for outdoor positioning and to give targeted offers as you walk past. And then within a store, you can actually push offers as a person walks around. Of course, with their permission, that's why we use Bluetooth. We don't use creepy things like Wi-Fi sniffing, which is bad. As we found out recently, Dixon's, MyCom, people don't like Wi-Fi sniffing. Everything we do should be with the consumer's consent. It should be opt-in, not opt-out. And the consumer should have to do something to switch it on, whether that's turning on their Bluetooth, opening an app, or downloading and accepting the terms of an app. It should be consumer consent, consumer-driven, not merchant-driven, not big party. Payment terminals, it's all coming together. In the future, it's going to be a single touch or a no-touch transaction. So I'll pay with my card, coupons will be applied, loyalty and discounts will happen, I'll get my rewards just by paying with that card. When eventually beacons take over, if Apple has their way, then I'll walk into a store. I won't need to do anything, I'll just be asked by the cashier, do you want to pay this amount? I say yes, walk out the door. My phone takes care of it in my pocket. Maybe it's coming, maybe it's not, but that's what Apple are pushing for. Should be no more paper receipts, we should move to e-receipts. And mobile payments are becoming a big thing, which YES.TAP will tell us about in a few minutes. This is Cardlytics in the US, running out of time, so I'm going to speed up. In the US, this is Cardlytics. What they do is they take your banking transactions with Bank of America, and they basically give you Amazon offers in the real world. So based on what you've done, in your internet banking, offers will pop up and coupons will pop up, and next time you use your Bank of America card, you actually get that reward instantly applied, and they give you cash back. So this is happening, this is out there, this is working. Privacy and security, I'm going to pretty much skip over, but it's about convenience against privacy, it's about being anonymous versus being registered. Centrally control the data, so you don't give all your personal information to every shopkeeper, but rather you keep it centrally and disseminate it from there with a Chinese wall between the merchant and the customer. And you give the customer and merchant control of what's shared. You let them decide. Security-wise, everything needs to be secure. I think we all get security. It's pretty straightforward. So finally, consumer should be multi-channel, seamless, and simple. It should be about social engagement with the right merchants. And it should be about discovery and new experiences. It should all just happen. You shouldn't have to think about this or have the right apps. The shopkeeper, keeping customers is much cheaper than acquiring new ones. There's no one-size-fits-all for merchants. And you should create a fun and memorable experience in your store to make people want to come back. And finally, for the incumbents, they need to innovate and differentiate to survive. They need to add value-adding services to their existing offerings. And they need to really worry about privacy and security. One breach is the end of these guys. They really need to get this right. So basically, what we try to do is make loyalty simple and meaningful. Every visit to the shop gives the merchant more insights about you and helps them serve you better. And for you and me as a customer, it becomes one touch point, or one card that gives us all of our rewards and makes things very, very simple for us. We don't have to think, it just happens. I'm John, I'm not going to take questions right now. I'm going to hand over to Kinson, and then we'll both come back and do questions at the end. Thank you very much, and sorry I was a bit sped up at the end.
We eliminate queues with a simple tap on your phone. Now, let me ask all of you a question first. What does halftime at a football game, lunch hour at a canteen, and a popular fast food location have in common? Anybody guess? You got it. long queues, ridiculously long queues. And that's what we're out to solve. Now, long queues, they cause headaches and chaos. Customers just hate waiting. And when the line gets too long, people leave. Not only that, it scares away potential customers. Now, let's picture this. You're in the Amsterdam Arena. You're watching the Holland-Germany football match. And you're all thirsty, so you want this. You want a cold beer served with a Buzzoek Yes. Now, but there's only 15 minutes before the game resumes. So with limited food stands and bars, how can you order and not get caught up in a massive queue? Think about it. If you're a stadium, how can you minimize fan frustration and stop losing out on big sales? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Kinson, there's probably insufficient capacity at the kitchen. They're not keeping up with the orders. But actually, that's not the case. The bottleneck is at the cashier. We're here to rip open this bottleneck. YES.TAP allows you to order and pay through your phone, so you can bypass the queue. You can also order before arriving at your location. Simply pick up your food, just grab, and go. Our trials at Vlaamse Frites have shown that we can decrease queue times by 24 seconds and increase the average transaction size by 36%. And we're the only company to use two innovative technologies to further add speed and increase sales. Firstly, we leverage near-field communication, also known as NFC or TAP technology, same technology that John was shown with the movie chip card. So this can be used very effectively in canteens, basically in anywhere where you go eat normally. I'll elaborate a little bit more about that later. But picture this right now. You're at a corporate canteen, you have to catch a meeting, it's lunchtime, so everybody goes there. And when you go there, there's a long queue. But what if you didn't have to wait? What if you can use TAP technology to order that hamburger that you wanted? It's just with one simple click. Video is what look like. So using near-field communication, you put your phone to the burger, the order is added. You balance your meal out with salad, and one more simple tap to pay. We're making this a reality at Vodafone. Last month, we launched Live there, and employees can use mobile ordering and payments. They can also use NFC in this way to order. And I'll show you a little bit more about how the actual app works later. Secondly, we increase sales through our recommendations engine. So how does that work? Well, over time, our engine becomes more intelligent and more personalized for each customer. Using customers' location, so this uses beacon technology, and using their preferences, we engage with them at the most strategic and relevant moments. So I'll give you an example. Now, let's think that it's December time. The snow's coming down, it's really cold, and you're walking down the street, okay? Our engine knows that you're 500 meters away from coffee company, and that you're a hot chocolate lover. So what we'll do is we'll send you a push notification saying, come in and warm up with us. We'll give you a premium hot chocolate for 10% off if you order through your phone. What's interesting is the CFO of coffee company has said YES.TAP can help you elegantly improve your fast service offerings. Now, focusing back on the catering industry, on corporate canteens, we've chosen to tackle this industry first just because it's the same people that are getting caught up in these lineups. And we want to eliminate that pain. We want to alleviate people from that through a better way, through technology. Now, this is how the actual app works. So 3 simple steps. First, you would add the items to your cart. So this can be done through in-app ordering or through NFC. Second, the payments. When you're ready to pay, just one click, and then you'll see a digital receipt. Now, after you see a digital receipt, you know that the payment has been made and that transaction has gone through the credit card. Now, I'd like to share with you what Vodafone employees actually think about our app. Let's take a look at some of the quotes. Now, we actually did a survey. We sent out different departments, and the most creative one came from a fellow called Ralph. He said, it's easy to pay without queuing, smooth as butter. I actually think he was making a sandwich when he wrote us this feedback. And right now, I'd like to invite Stephanie up from Vodafone. She's actually been using our app as well, and she can share with you a little bit about her experience.
is Stephanie. I work at Vodafone here in Amsterdam, and on the 11th floor we have our canteen, and every day at 12 everybody goes straight to lunch, and we have enormous queues, even though we have self-service cash registers, so we have about 5 of them, but all 5 are really queued up. So this invention from YES.TAP was really convenient, so we all use the poster now, and even without the poster you can still also tap in the app, so you can pre-order yourself, and then it saves you a lot of time during lunch, so we all are a big fan of YES.TAP.